Hello, children. Welcome back to another episode of CX Riot Radio, where we talk about customer experience and stuff still in a hyper-caffeinated state. That's right. We are still guzzling the caffeine. We are still railing the pre-workout. We are still chugging, drinking down, guzzling the energy drinks here. Because, why not? There is no science out there that says that caffeine is bad or too much caffeine will kill you. Nothing like that at all. There is no science behind that. That is misinformation, and it should be banned on Facebook. So, if you're here for the first time, welcome. Welcome to CX Riot Radio. If you're a return listener, welcome back. I love you. And if you're one of the new people, please come back. All right. So, as you know, because I say it at the beginning of every episode, I have merch. I have books. The books are not on the merch store. The books are on Amazon. The merch is on the merch store. The merch store anyway, will be listed or linked in the little doobly-doo on both the podcast platforms and on YouTube. Please buy my stuff. You get used to that shit. Okay. So, lately, for the last month or so, I've been listening to so much folk punk. So much that if I listen to one more album, I will be hitching a ride on a train, going somewhere. Probably nowhere. It just resonates with me. It's been days and days. Pat the Bunny, Tony and Gravel, and a few others, but mostly those ones. Apes of the State is good. Local News Legend is good. So, Sister Wife Sex Strike is good. So, honestly, if I had discovered the genre when I was younger, it probably would have taken over my love of normal punk, to be honest. Because I can relate to a lot of the songs. Because I, like many of you, also hate myself. And that's okay. That's just fine. In fact, it's peachy keen and squeaky clean. So, if you haven't checked out that genre, that flavor of music, I would highly recommend it. A lot of acoustics, a lot of washboards. Some of them have trumpets, but they're not ska. Even though ska is fun. Today, we're going to be talking about the stuff, right? Because this is about customer experience and stuff. So today is not going to be so much about customer experience. Today is going to be more about stuff. And I've been really big into checklists and to-do lists and time blocking and keeping a journal and writing down everything I do. And I think I found something that worked. And I want to share that. So, if I had the foresight, I would have recorded my system, but I didn't. So you're just going to have to deal with me talking about it. It is what it is. You'll survive. So, I use a combination of two things because my inner workings in my mind is very, 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 very chaotic, right? I am a creature of chaos And if I don't create systems and I don't do certain things, it spirals and I try to do everything at once, and that just devolves into me bed rotting or Rotmaxxing, as it's called. So that's okay. That's all right. But I devised two things, and I borrowed them from different people. So to-do lists, there's a stat out there. I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard it. It says 43% of the items on a to-do list never get done. That's not good. That's almost half. And if you've ever had a to-do list, you know how it keeps growing throughout the day, especially if you haven't mastered the art of saying no to things that are outside of your vital functions. So, and not all of us have the opportunity or the capability or the option even of being able to say no to additional projects or additional work. Sorry. It's just something that a lot of us don't have the option for. If the person above us tells us to do something, we got to do it. That's called having a job. That's called being a productive member of society. And that's okay. If you're lucky, you can delegate some of that to other people. But I understand that delegation is one of the hardest leadership skills that people can develop. And that's okay. I'm not going to say that comes from an ego or from misplaced perfectionism, even though it usually does. It might not in your case. It might not in my case. It probably does in my case. I am a ridiculous perfectionist. I know it doesn't seem that way, but if I let that part of me go, it spirals just like my chaos, right? So nothing gets done. I have to be okay with things being not perfect. I have to be okay with things being good enough or even great rather than the way I want it to be. This podcast would never have been launched if I wanted it to be perfect, right? Or if I was trying for perfection. That's just the way it is. So, what do I do? Okay, so I used to keep a to-do list, and I used to do it on Todoist, which was linked to my Notion, right? And this is not a Notion video because I stopped using Notion, other than as like a knowledge base and brain dump and linking things, right? I still use it on occasion. But what I use now for my primary is Google Calendar. The shit thing is, my work does not use Google Calendar. It uses Outlook Calendar, and Outlook Calendar, let's face it, much like Microsoft Teams, is fucking awful. Right? It is just painfully awful. And every time you try to make a calendar event, it auto puts on Microsoft Teams. What the fuck is up with that? That needs to fucking stop. That is disgusting. That is cruel. And that is vile. Anyway, I use Google Calendar. And I time block a lot. And I color code. I'll get into what the colors are in a minute here. The other thing that I do is, if you know or have heard of Andy Frisella, he has the Real AF podcast. He's the CEO of First Form and a few other companies. And he used to have a podcast called the MF CEO Project. And he has a thing called the Power List. The Power List is like a list of 5 things and 5 things only that you need to accomplish throughout the day to make that day a win. I brought 2 Coke Zeros out with me. Should probably mix one of these with whiskey. I'm not going to do that. So, not because I don't drink whiskey, but because I don't want to right now. I'm recording a show. So, anyway, but the gist of it is, these 5 things have to move the needle excuse me while I light up a cigarette. They have to move the needle, and they have to move your life, your business, your whatever forward, right? It can't be like, I'm going to put brushing my teeth on the list, unless you have an issue with brushing your teeth, right? Then yeah, put it on there, please. For the sake of everybody, put it on there. Same with showering, right? Now, these are things that you need to accomplish throughout the day. And at the end of the day, if you checked all those things off, it's a W, right? It's a win. It's a dub. If you don't, if you miss even one, the day was an L, a loss, and then you stack the W's, right? Or you can stack the L's, I guess, if that's your thing. It's okay. Most of us do. So, anyway, what I do is on Sunday night at around 7:30 p.m., I get out my journal, my notebook. And it is literally a notebook. But it's a nice notebook, you know? It is an 8 by 11-ish grid paper notebook that is bound, right? It's not spiral or anything like that. Has a nice fake leather cover. Why? Because it was on sale on Amazon, okay? Shut up. Anything will work. A yellow legal pad would work for this. And you spell out all the things that you want to do during the week or that you need to do during the week. This could be a series of meetings. This could be one-on-ones. This could be research and development. This could be anything like that, right? So I do mine in two categories. I have the work one and the personal one, right? Anything I want to do during the week for the personal goes on there. Sometimes it's even like play World of Warcraft for 3 hours this day, right? Yeah, I'm ridiculous. I schedule game time. Yeah. And so I go through that list. I go through what needs to be done at work, and I carve it out into important. So do it on Monday. Not that important. So by Wednesday, and then I guess due by Friday, right? And the important stuff is due on Monday because, well, I want to get it out of the way. It needs to get done. It's the hardest thing I have to do that week. Blah, 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 blah. Right? So, and then I take those items and I put them on my power list. Well, power lists, I guess, for the 7 days of the week. So, and I count my weeks Monday through Sunday. Coincidentally, that's how payroll is calculated where I work. So I'm just in that kind of spirit, right? So anyway, I then take that power lists and I time block time on my Google Calendar, which is synced to my Outlook calendar. So anything I put on the Google Calendar goes to my Outlook calendar. So it kind of works out, right? So I'm forced to use Outlook, but I'll use Google through Outlook. There we go. So, because Google, their calendar, much more aesthetic, much more customizable, much better. And it doesn't default to fucking Microsoft Teams. So, that's what I do. Now, something I used to do is I used to draw a grid on a piece of paper, and then I would segment it by hours and then by 15-minute increments, which everyone told me I was crazy for doing that, but you know what? It worked. And I do the same concept on my Google Calendar, right? So, and I have 3 spots in the day where I check email, where I email batch. And that's like 8 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and 4 o'clock. Now, if anything important is emailed between those times, I have one of those messages that shoots back and says, hey, if it's important, call me or text me or shoot me a message on Discord and I'll take care of it. But if it's not, these are the times I check my email, so I will get to yours at that time. It works. So, and most people respect that. because during the times between those, I'm trying to get as much stuff done as possible, help out as many people as possible, have as many one-on-ones as possible, right? I have a lot of things. I cover a lot of things. I wear a lot of different hats, and each one gets time blocked onto my calendar. If I'm dealing with the call center at work, I will have that labeled out in a specific color, exactly what I'm doing. And then if I'm working on the IT or the software or the tablet side, I have that blocked out and I have that color coded as well. And then if I'm working on marketing, that is color coded and blocked out as well. So, and so on and so forth through whatever I'm dealing with at work that particular day. So it works. Okay, so now after I put the power list items blocked out on my calendar, I then schedule any meetings that I need to host. And those are like the one-on-ones, or if I want to go over a specific sub-department with that sub-department leader, I'll schedule those out. They'll get a calendar invite from Outlook, but I either use Zoom or Google Meet unless they want to come into the office. But it's 2025. Let's face it, nobody really does. I'm like one of the only people that go into the office, other than a few. So, because you know what? I like it. If I have to do really big heads down projects, I will stay at home, knock those out, because let's face it, my computer setup's better than the one I have at work. It is what it is. So, because it's a gaming computer, it's fine. Yeah. So, but I even schedule breaks. My dinner is scheduled on there. My dinner is scheduled each day at 5:30. Today I missed it, so it's actually cooking in the oven right now while I record this. But that's because I had to do something special. That was a last minute thing, and my whole schedule got pushed back a little bit. So, well, only about an hour. So, which isn't terrible. And I got a boba out of it. So, well, I bought it. So I guess I didn't. Yeah, whatever. All right. So anyway, for me, the power list and time blocking works wonders. Okay. Color coding makes it even better, because then I can just glance at my calendar, know what I'm supposed to be working on, work on it until that time is done. And then about 5 minutes before I'm supposed to start something else, I get a notification. And I get that notification in 3 different places, which is a little ridiculous, but it is what it is. All right, I get it on my computer, I get it on my phone, I get it on my watch. And if I have my tablet with me, I get it on my tablet. So 4, I guess. But I usually don't have my tablet with me because that's my home thing that I use when I'm home. So deal with it. Deal with it, you pig. So, and for the last month and a half, I've been using the system. And let me tell you, it works. And I'll also tell you this, nothing else did. So, yes, I still got stuff done, but I was stressed out. I was running behind schedule on several things, the less important things, but I didn't start time blocking until recently, although I have dabbled with it in the past. But this is what works for me. The color coding, especially, I put little emojis when it's done. Like I'll check it off, like a check mark emoji next to it, just to know I'm done, So I don't have to worry about it, right? So my question is, what do you use for your daily tasks? Do you use a to-do list? Do you time block? Do you plan out the week the night before the week starts? Or do you plan out each day, either in the morning or the night before? I have a pretty busy life. That's not true. Outside of work, I have like no social life. Like, I went on a date like a month ago. More than that. 2 months ago. And I was like, this is not my thing. So I'm like 2 steps away from like joining a monastery, or like I said before, if I listen to one more folk punk album, I'm hopping a train. It's fine. So I just suck at staying in touch with people. So I think the talking phase is good enough. Where was I? Oh yeah. So what do you use? Do you use a combination of those things? Do you time block? I don't know if there's a difference between time boxing and time blocking. I think it's the same thing. I don't know. I could easily look that up, but no, I'm not going to. So, power list, time blocking. Time block the things on the power list, get those things done, and if it takes you a little longer to get them done anyway. Why are you saving things, right? Like, I know some things take more than a day to do. It's fine. Schedule it accordingly. But whatever you have on your calendar for that day, you're gonna get it done. And then you can reward yourself after you get them all done. You can reward yourself with a nice, smooth, calming cigarette, or a nice glass of scotch, or whatever it is you do that's healthy and you view as a treat. Sometimes I give myself an extra hour of video game time. I know. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that? Right now I'm playing World of Warcraft Classic Cataclysm. I got a little bored of Season of Discovery, and I don't want to play hardcore. And I really don't like World of Warcraft retail. So I also downloaded Star Wars The Old Republic, the MMO, and I haven't played it yet. I downloaded that like a week ago. I should probably give that a whirl at some point. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'll time block some time into my calendar for that. I showed my calendar. I took a screenshot of it and sent it to our social media person, right? And she said it gave her a migraine. But I don't know. It helps me because again, if I don't make systems, I Rotmax. I spiral. I try to take on too many things at once. I start multitasking, which is one of the biggest mistakes you could do. And I don't know. But I'm curious. Let me know what you do. Either put it in the comments or shoot me an email or reach out to me on LinkedIn. All of that stuff is totally fine because I'm habitually on LinkedIn. It is always open somewhere, and I ignore people trying to sell me things. If you're one of those people trying to sell me things because you're trying to listen to the podcast to get more insights to sell to me better, I'm probably not going to respond to you. I'm sorry. I don't have the time unless you're going to give me a gift card. Then I'll sit through your demo. Yeah. Okay. So this is the time where I start wrapping up. Time block, power list, time block your power list. Start stacking those W's. And as always, please remember to like, comment, review, rate, and share the show so we can make the show grow. And with that, this is CX Riot Radio. Goodbye!